All right. Hey, got balls? Yeah, these people are awesome. We are going to take this week and do a lot of random stuff here on the old 35 Chevy. I did take, and I got this little booger here bolted up in the dash. And I got a pretty cool thing here that a guy named Aaron Runk machined out for me. It's not finished out quite perfectly yet, but we're going to take it and do some work and make it fit here sometime in the near future. My main thing is windows going in, remote being hooked up, a bunch of wiring crap going on. All right, so in the doors, it only takes 4 wires to do everything we want. Those wire looms, if you're going to buy some, check the ID of them before you buy them. That's all the wire I can pull through there, and I really would like to have one more to put a little puddle light or something in the bottom of this door. But you have 2 wires here, and we got 2 wires back here. That's all we need. Door wiring complete. I do want to make everything work with the remote before I put the glass in, because that glass takes up the whole inside of that door, and it's very hard to work on with it in there. Besides, the glass is nice and safe over here on the shelf, and yeah. All right, so I don't know if any of that even made sense. Basically, 4 wires in the door pretty much completes our door wiring. Now, mount the stuff for the remote, get the relays wired up, powered up, and the signal sent to the right place, and we should have stuff that like click, 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 click. Yeah. Anyway, doors that open and windows that roll up and down with a switch. Cat's feeling pretty good tonight. As most hot rodding projects go, this has escalated quickly. So we've gone from just simple, running wires in here to now, okay, we've got to have a spot for some switches to hide and that kind of stuff. So I got a nice, Amazon sent me a CAD kit so I could design a console. So we're working on that, just trying to get an idea of the space it takes up, because the old car is pretty small. I am going to go ahead and continue it on into the firewall. It'll work good. Then you have a place to rest your foot on the gas pedal when you're stomping her down on the floor. So, yep, do all this stuff. Just gotta measure and those kind of things. Cardboard box seemed like a real simple way just to get an idea of the space we need to occupy. So we'll get it built. All right, so here's something I like, the little rock light LEDs for the 4-wheel drive guys. They make awesome dome lights. So yeah, they mount up nice and flush, easy, 2 screws, 2 wires, and they have nice little aluminum bezels on them. These are dangling, of course, because it's a job that's not finished yet. All right, so I did have the whiteboard out, going to draw out a wiring diagram for you guys, but then I just took a picture of that. We'll put it in the video. You can see what I figured out is like it's a lot easier to wire things and do things when you have them on the outside of the car as opposed to wiring them on the inside of the car. So I have a relay for left door, right door, and then my little, isn't that crazy how small that unit is that's going to control your remote? Yeah, pretty neat there. It's got to have a wire that goes to your turn signals so you can flash the lights, find your car, ground, another ground, and a power wire for the actual module. And then here's a power wire going to our relays. And not too hard, just a lot of little steps. And that stuff is just the electrical side of making the doors work. We've still got to get a handle, a latch, or I guess the latch is already in the door and functional. We just have to make all the connections to the latch and get the glass in there. So that's pretty big stuff. I do have some mirrors. I bought straight arm mirrors for it. Should have bought curved arm mirrors. We're gonna have to figure that out as well. Bunch of little stuff going on around here. We're almost at Christmas. I got a ton of cleaning. All fits, works good. I think it'll be nice. You know, you got everything to work the windows here. The power door locks are here. These two wires, one will be right, one will be left. Those just go to the actual solenoid. Everything else is wired. I just wanted to throw a couple of short clips in here of actually putting some of these wires together. I didn't do a good job in the car, but instead it's kind of frayed those wires apart, twist them up nice and tight, and then throw the solder on there. And this little soldering iron I got came from Harbor Freight, works off butane. It's pretty nice. It heats up fairly quick, about the same as the first time you put heat into an electric solder iron. But here again, you fray those ends out nice, and then key the wires together and just twist it as tight as you can, and then solder. And then here we're putting the heat shrink on it. Tried to do that with all my connections inside of this car. These are actually the wires for the window motors and all those things. Put them together to kind of extend a couple of them and just make everything where it fits good. All right, so you saw me just take all of our window switch wires and shrink wrap them. You can see why, because we're starting to get a big tangle of wires here, and that the switches are going to end up sitting somewhere in this neighborhood here. You know, they'll be straight and all that. All right, we got this nice piece of square tube running up underneath here, and I was like, man, I could just zip tie this whole board to that for right now, just to kind of know where we're at. I got all kinds of room. My oh my, how much beautiful space you've got. I don't like how much wire I already see hanging out of this dude. I want it way over, slated to the driver's side. There you go. So these two wires right here, pinky is power windows, orange and black is power locks. So we have those wires easy enough to connect in here with our power that we need. Yeah, everything's right here, guys. Got to have us a couple of ground wires, all those good things. So those wires will stay up under here. All right, well, that was cool, right? Stuff moving up and down. We can make both sides do it now. I went back and I've created this rod for this side, so we have mechanical opening on when you want to get out of the car. I'm gonna have to replace the little bi-directional motor with a solenoid because it just doesn't seem to have the oompa to open a bear claw latch. I took my rear channel, put the industrial fuzzy Velcro there so that I got some softness for my glass to ride in. I still got to do the rest of the door, but I got the bottom of it done. Yeah, It's that same old deal. More cut, fit. Yeah, just keep going with it, guys. Yep, here just going around the edges with the brush, a little contact adhesive. That stuff you can buy it at Lowe's or wherever, hitting every surface I want to stick together with it, just to make sure that we have a good bond. Go back and pay attention to the edges, and I also hit the back of this panel in a second, and we push it on there tight. Naturally, you got to let it sit for about 5 minutes before you stick any of this together, because that contact cement takes a minute to dry. Go when the motor's all out. I have not rust proofed inside of these doors yet, so we're going to grab our rust preventative spray, aka cavity wax. We're going to blow us a bunch down in the bottom of this door here, try to prevent corrosion. All right, last clip, you saw a little bit of cavity wax getting sprayed in here to show you guys how ugly that crap is when it goes in, but it'll definitely keep the bottom of that door from rusting out. And that's what we're really after, right? Prevent the rust. Yeah, so cavity wax for the win, guys. Well, all right, we got everything tightened up in here. If you look back there, there's the little bi-directional motor I've been talking about, and that thing just like lets it go up and down. Not a lot of power, it doesn't seem like. Look at that though. There's glass in the door now. Glass, yeah, yippee! Got her all bolted in down here. Let's see if it'll go up and down, kind of. I don't have this thing glued together at this point. And like right in there, it starts to pop out of the rear track. And not quite out of the front one. We got to do something to get her a little bit more firmly regulated in here, because this thing just kind of like does its own deal. did that. Yep, there you go. Woohoo! Yeah! One more thing knocked out of the way. Now I got to figure this rod right here, I've got to put a hole in it so I can put a clip on it. I got to clip the back of that, change out this, hook up our power to our remote setup, and we're going to make this door all work and latch and unlatch before we put the glass in the driver's door, because hey, if we have a problem and we can't unlatch the door with a remote, we're going to have a way to unlatch this mechanically. We got to run some kind of safety system in here or something. I would hate to have to break a glass or do something crazy to get into the old car. All right, guys, so if you watch YouTube, you're going to be able to look and see a lot more stuff here than you will just looking at this car someplace. Look at that. Still got a board here. I got wires just looped and tied up because these are actually more lock-unlock wires. This one is powered by our turn signals so that we can click the clicker and it'll light the turn signals up. Got 2 ground wires here. And yeah, that one right there, he's coming in to go and be hooked up to the instrument cluster lights to make our switches light up. One thing about Ball's street rods, when you buy their setup, you get a pretty cool little thing. Here's just up and down switches for our doors. Pretty cool stuff. So yep, there you go, guys. That's what we've done this week. We made the window roll up and down. Yeah, next thing, we'll probably be pulling the steering column out to replace the turn signal switch, yippee, tilt column, all that fun stuff. We've had it apart enough times we ought to know what's going on now. Going through doing a nut and bolt on the interior now because we've got a bunch of screws that aren't quite tight and this, that, and the other. I did get the garnish moldings put back in here around my interior pieces. Not really exciting, just putting screws in, trying not to break them off or break the bits. And then I have this, I thought I had a color that was kind of going to be my base for my wood grain, but it's too green, it ain't going to work. So we got to do that again. No big deal, we'll get it done. You guys have a great 2024.